Hello and welcome. If you are one of the few here, I welcome you and say hello once more. My name is Jeff. I'm just Jeff. This is me building with Lego today. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. That was my dog shaking it out. So there's that. So we're going to talk about adding a third floor to the green and gray building today. Nothing fancy, nothing great. But I did mess up. So I got that going for me. So, as you can tell with this building here, the roofing structure here, there's going to be a weird tile showing right there. So what I am going to do is, first I'm going to say hello to Jeremy that's here. I think he's still here anyway. Welcome aboard for watching something that's almost better than watching grass grow. So I appreciate you being here. Other people will eventually show up. They usually do. At that point, you'll be able to join in on the camaraderie of conversation. But right now, all I'm going to be doing today, at least building-wise, is finishing out the third floor layout, which is important on its own right. And I'm also going to be fixing some mistakes that I made, like this one right here. Ta-da! I know, riveting stuff, right? Oh, Jeremy left. I'm here by myself. This is awkward. Well, I'm just going to get to work. So building a modular building is a lot of fun, especially if you can do it on your own, which is super duper awesome. I really enjoy doing this. This is my favorite build type. Lately, I've been stuck in space mode, and there's nothing wrong with being stuck in space mode. Don't let anybody tell you different. But that's not really what my jam is, as it were. I don't really have a jam. Hey, Lindsay, how's it going? I see that you showed up. We had somebody else, but then he left because he was the only one here and he felt bored. Which I don't, blame him. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we're going to get this all taken care of. Is that too long? That is not too long. That is too long. Yeah. All right. So, having a little bit of a mishap with some Lego. There we go. Okay. So there's going to be some restructuring as I go along about doing this. I've got to make things even and sweet and cool. That's fantastic. I'm really happy to hear that, Lindsay. Oh, I saw pictures of your Denali's. Denali? Denolos. I am super fantastic. Thank you for asking. It is my mother-in-law's birthday today. So I am going to be going to my in-laws' house for dinner and everything else tonight and the whole kit and caboodle, and I'm really looking forward to it. She's a very special lady. She's always been encouraging with her son-in-law, me, and that's pretty important to me. It's going to be fun. Made some nerd sales today, so that was even better. So I got a little bit of money coming to me. And money coming to me means hopefully I'll be able to buy a Lego set. I really want the Rover. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but the Rover is a fantastic set. It's like 40 bones. And I don't have 40 bones right now, and that's okay. But hopefully, with that nerd money that I made, I'll be able to buy said set. So this is a problem. I'm pretty sure that the pieces that I need are out in the living room. This is going to be slightly awkward. I'll be right back. And here we are again. All right, so yeah, Lego money is crazy, isn't it? You're like, hey, I finally got some stuff, but what do you mean we need to feed people and get, things people need? This is crazy. Lego money, man. It's a real hoot and a half. But that's the way it is. There we go. So this is as rinky-dink as you get back here due to my inability to do math, which is, fine. So that right there is going to have to be secured with bricks on top. There's no going around it. It's not the best way to do things, and I'm sure other builders would pan things out better, but I've also messed this up because dang it. There's a stairwell that comes up through the middle there. And, well, easy, alrighty, perfection. Geometry is the worst. Alright, so there's that as good as we're going to get it from now, which is good. We gotta get that side taken care of. Go from there. Oh god, I have just missed this. I have no idea where any of this goes. Okay, fantastic. We're getting there. All right, so we're gonna set that up right there. So that means I need a 3-piecer right there, which is pretty simple. We're going to do that. I do feel bad. There was somebody else in here for like a little bit. And his question was, am I the only one here? Yeah. Then he immediately bounced. So, thanks, guy. That improves the old confidence of me wanting to do this more. I doesn't appreciate being called out like that. But you know what? Do what I want. Okay. Alright, so this has got to come down one stud. Perfecto. Almost. Maybe? Alright, so everything's fine. Nothing is wrong. Damn it. Yeah, I've talked to him before in private about building in modulars and stuff like that, and I was really excited to see him here again. Oh, that must be nice. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's. That's going to be a fun build, whoever gets it, that's for sure. I do wonder, though, if they're going to do what they did with the 89 Batmobile, which is make a little mini kit based on the big kit. Because that would be super cool if they did. Rest assured, Lindsay, that'll never happen here. Alrighty, so I think I've got this as butchered as I can to make it work. We're going to find out. This keeps shrinking. I need to change the... Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, they came out with a Batmobile that resembles... Batwing that resembles the 89 Batmobile in a Batman set, the police car, the Riddler chase with the Jim Gordon police car this year. It was last year. No, it was this year. It was this year that it came out. And that was cool. It looked almost exactly like the 89. Yeah, yeah. $200 is a lot when you've got bills to pay, and yeah. Cool. I mean, just in general, $200 is a lot. So that's like groceries for my household for like 2 weeks. You know, this year has been 5 years already. It feels like that for sure. Why is my brain not working? Come on, brain. You can do it. There we go. Okay. Back on track-ish. Alright, so there's that. Yeah, right? Okay. I apologize if I go silent. I am kind of trying to concentrate just a little bit. The math here is throwing me off big time, and I don't know why. Okay. How old are your little ones, Lindsay, if you don't mind me asking? I know that's a little personal, but I don't want to overstep my bounds, as it were. That. And we need a 6-banger right there. Oh boy. You got a whole house full. Are they into the Lego like mom and dad, or are you into the Lego and then they got into the Lego? Oh wow. You guys are building an army. You love Lego? Oh, nice. Okay. I understand then. Alright, so there's going to be some rattling of parts. Hopefully not too much, though. The moment when you realize that you're almost out of gray, I'm not really quite sure how you're going to finish this build. Aha! I found a lot more gray. It was good. You need the sand green for the front of the building. Alright, so we got that going for us. That's good. Easy. No, I understand about that. Lego is really great for autism, actually. When I was doing behavioral health, my dude and I would would build with Lego for hours, simply because it was easier for him to wrap his head around the math, as it were. And he actually really loved it. It was one of the few times he actually came alive. It was cool. So I hope you guys have that. Oh, no worries. So I hope you guys have that success that other people have found in that with autism. That's amazing. Raising a kid with special needs, or raising a kid in general, is really hard on the relationship and really hard on just everything else in general. Like looking for pieces like a scavenger looking for food on a deserted island. Yeah. It's very genetic. Autism. It's definitely passed through if the right conditions are there or whatever. But, the important thing is to remember is that it's never gonna... It's only an impediment if people... if you listen to people when they tell you, well, that's bad, and that's an impediment, and that's... if you really want to watch something inspirational about folks with autism, Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin is an excellent documentary-style, fictionized work of who Temple Grandin is. She revolutionized the slaughterhouses back in the day. I know it's slaughterhouses, whatever, but she's the one that helped maintain a standard for not painful cow slaughter, as it were. And we're rattling. This is really becoming problematic with this whole gray thing. Moments of silence as I dig through this so everybody can clearly hear what I'm doing. It's always funny. I've always been somebody that believes in not really believes, but tested out different methods for folks with special needs to branch out of their shell and things like that. And I found that Lego does that. They can express things that they normally wouldn't be able to, et cetera, et cetera. And I really hope that it's being used more today than I was back in the day. There is the choking hazard, which is understandable, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah, I would be too. I would be too. That takes a lot out of you. Takes a lot out of anybody, really. I mean, all you want to do is just hug your kid and tell them it's going to be all right. And, sometimes you can't do that because they don't want to be touched in that moment, and they don't need that sensory overload. They got their emotions going up the wall, and you're just sitting there trying to, help your kiddo be okay. That hurts the most. I've been in that position several times with former clients, and it's never a good time. The trick is to find the reset button. Because sensory overload is happening, they are listening. That's the thing about all that, is that their brains are very active, like super active. And if you can find the right trigger phrase or the right trigger words, they stop and pause and go, what? Like if you give them a problem to solve, a simple problem. I had a guy that would blow up on me. This isn't for everybody, and I understand if it doesn't work for everyone. I apologize. It seems like, this is a tried and true method. But simple math. You started off with simple math, 5 plus 5, stuff like that, and then you went into like square roots and things like that, and it calmed them down, or at least brought them down to a functioning level. Yeah, that is a very private hell that not a lot of people will ever know about. That's for sure. Oh, we have good folks working with him. I hope he's got a good support structure at school. And well, I mean, you're you and Cody's Cody. Yeah, math. Math is difficult for him. Okay. Well, it really is finding out about what makes him pause and think about what he's doing to give him that reset. Sometimes that happens with folks on their own or whatever. I'm not a medical doctor. Don't take any advice from me. Take it as a common suggestion. Alrighty, we got this window unit ready to be placed. It's right here. Pretty simple build. Very, very simple. A lot of people will go to great means to make their windows look this or that way. I don't have the energy for it anymore. I mean, I would like to do that, but I don't want to. Yeah. That doesn't help the old confidence either. People with general mental health and behavioral health don't have the confidence that people that have a somewhat normal or somewhat undocumented and whatever, situation going on. So like people like myself with those problems, not those specific problems, but problems that mirror that. Confidence is very important to me. I have to be confident in what I'm doing or I'm not going to do it. It's just that simple. And the same can be said with simple tasks like math and like everything else. And, you need to psych yourself up to do it. And with autism being in play, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people, Rick and Nick, all those guys, but they're people that I looked up to for inspiration and things like that. And I'm going to be extra blunt here. I stopped giving a shit about what other people were doing as far as making it look good, and I just started to build the way that I wanted to build. I wanted to build buildings that I liked. I'm doing that, and I'm okay with it. Are these going to win any awards anytime soon? Nah. I'm okay with that? Yeah. And I don't really care that much about being the best or being an artful designer or anything like that. And I'm not throwing, I believe the kids call it throwing shade on anybody. But that's just not for me. No? And that is how it should be, but it's not though, because people get it in their mind that they need to be the next big thing and they need to be the whatever, and it's like, okay, like, all right, you do you, boo. I mean, pretty much. That's yeah. That's that's the conclusion that I've had to come to when it comes to my own hobbies, which is sad, really. Um, a lot of my friends that are not in the Legoverse do not understand. Um, like, they don't get it. And that's perfectly okay. I've never forced any of them to try to get it. I know him. I think I've talked to him about it, and I've never ever, went that route or anything like that. Is that the same height, or am I stupid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's 6. Perfection already. So the front of the building is matching all the way down. I like those ridged lines on that structure right there. That makes me happy for no reason. Alrighty. So I've got started. I've got the outline going, which is what I wanted to do today. Don't have a lot of time to build. I've got the thing to do at 6, which is the land show, which I'm okay with doing. Kind of appreciate that break, as it were. And then I've got dinner tonight, so I am going to talk about Mechtober. So Mechtober is a new thing that I have just discovered. I'm sure it's been around forever, but the great Simon Liu, mock builder, extraordinaire, and space guy all around, and just a really nice person from what I've been told, declared it Mechtober. So that means every 7 days in October, you're going to build a mech. And a mech is a big robot suit, fighting force, whatever, that, it's a mech. It serves a purpose, whatnot. I found this out Sunday. Monday I did a bunch of adulting things, and that sucked. Holy crap, that sucked. And then around noon, 1 o'clock, I was done doing what I had to do. And then I started building. And I started off with this. And I hated it. I still hate it, as a matter of fact. I think that I want to add some legs on this and make a little crawler. And then I'll make it for the second round of mechs. I'm just not a fan of this at all, if I'm being honest. This isn't the direction that I wanted to go with my creation, but here I am, and I'm going to make it a little crawler, I think, and do some more work on it and seal up some gaps that definitely bother me a whole lot. I think the cockpit is in the right direction, and it swivels all around, so that's fun. Okay, so I've got that taken care of. Saturday we'll be doing more of this. Hopefully that dude shows up again and maybe he'll stick around. If not, that's okay. Got that. Okay. So very carefully I'm going to move my camera. In theory. Alright, so my Tic Tacs out of the way for fresh minty breath. Okay, there we go. So this is what my first ever mech was. Well, technically my first ever mech that I posted online. Second, the other one doesn't count. It was garbage. So I really liked Aquanauts when I was a kid. Aquanauts was a fantastic team. I'm going to do some internet magic here. Give me 1 hot second. All right. All right, so this right here It's an Aquanaut ship. It's just a submarine or whatever. I'm on eBay, obviously. And this was my jam when I was a little boy, and I liked it. And it's super cool. We'll go from there and blah blah blah. So I wanted to make a mech that very much would fit in that world. So I did, which was amazing in so many different levels, at least to me. Yeah, it's so I'll take the Dodge Charger. And that's comparatively, that's the size. It's a couple of inches tall. It's minifigure scale. I really enjoyed building this, and I'm really going to enjoy the rest of this month. I do have the idea with that ugly gray thing that I hate. I do want to make that into another walker with 4 legs on the side of it. Then use some mixel joints. I'll go into that on Saturday. But yeah, I really liked building this. I can't move it though. I'm afraid to lift it up. Kevin! Is that Mr. Hinkle? That is Mr. Hinkle. Hello, Mr. Hinkle. How are you today, sir? What's going on? You're catching the tail end here, bud. Good, 30 minutes late. It's okay though. It's fine. But this is the mech that I made for Mechtober, at least for the first week. A little size comparison with a Speed Champions car next to it. Hey, you gotta click the bell and, give it a like or something, whatever it is people YouTube say. I posted it on Facebook. I didn't post it anywhere else. So that's cool. Got that going for me. But yeah, this was my mech. I really liked making it. It's going to fall apart, though, as soon as I move it anymore. So hard. You go, Kevin, maybe it needs more cowbell. That's a Texan thing to say, right? All right, so we're going to lift this up and attempt to put it back on the ground. So the back of this thing, right? That's the quality content we deserve right there. My Instagram video, me smoking a cigarette. I'm like, hey, Lego stuff. Boom. There we go. Holy crap! The legs didn't fall out. So the leg up front, super strong. Like, good job, Jeff. Oh, if that. I've got a it's a Technic connection on the bottom, but there are 2 cracked ball joints. The first cracked ball joint is here, the connection. The second cracked ball joint is on the right leg, the left leg, that has the most weight on it. The leg connection right there is used with joints because those are the strongest as far as I know. But the connecting piece is garbage. Is cracked down the middle. Can't find any more. These are all just stud connections back here. This is a 2 stud connection up here. It's very fragile. Thanks. The cockpit is virtually the same as that submarine that I just showed. It's got the same console in it that came in the original set. So yeah, it's pretty great. Oh god. But I really liked the idea of, like the Aquanauts upgrading their tech and things like that with how it works. As far as, I don't know, I guess in world or whatever, you'd want to call it or consider it. The gun here on the right hand, I'm not going to move that arm because it's going to fall off. It fires a hypersonic harpoon. Sounds pretty good, right? And then the left arm is used for wrestling and picking things up and putting in the bucket. While I was testing this out, the arm does reach over long enough to put stuff in the bucket. That arm will fall off. So I need to readjust that whole thing at one point. Or just destroy it, because this was just for the week. It was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of fun to build. I hit like a lot of roadblocks because I've never built a real mech before. I've always just like screwed around and be like, yeah, I did it, like when I was younger. So at one point I considered taking apart the Lex Luthor mech, mostly so I can get those sweet, sweet ball joint connectors, and mostly because they were black and not gray, and they mix well with the yellow and black of the original Team Aquanauts. So, yeah, and then I decided against that. I think I've picked this thing apart for parts so many times, it doesn't, yeah, I took its hands, its little fingers. So, thanks, Lex Luthor mech. No problem, Jeff. Kevin, I think you missed it, but I'm going to show you the advances that I've made to the modular building. But oh god. Okay. So we started work on the third floor today, and we're just going to keep it rising up like that. We're going to keep the same patterns and things like that. It is a little enclosed more up here. It's not as even for floor footage. So we'll have like a little bit of a closed in, I don't know how to describe it, but the border is going to be, outline of the building is going to be shrinking across the front, but there will still be footage in the back. And I'm sure if I did my math differently, it would have worked out so that it's all even across the board, but I actually kind of really like the look of this closing in on each other as it goes up a little bit more. I've still got one more story to build after this, and then I've got a roof. No, I haven't finished the blue house. So my attention span is that of like a 3-year-old's. I can't work on one thing for too long, or the rest of my day is kind of ruined. So I like to spread my projects out. That mostly comes from when I was doing commissions for people, because I'd have to focus on building this thing. And the blue house is not done. It's not going to be done for a while. I still have the second floor to finish, and then I have to decide on what roof I'm going to do, and if I'm going to put windows along the roof, like I do with some of my other, with my side built house, which is really strange. I'm okay with that. It's fine. Also, so to wrap things up, it is spooky season, and normally I would tell you at this time, in about an hour and a half, I will in fact be doing Just Jamming, but apparently we're not going to be doing Just Jamming tonight. I have my in-laws' birthday to go to, and I'm going to go do that instead and be a person. That's my dog barking. Hello, Dobby. So that's okay with me. That's perfectly fine. But I am going to be building. Joe's getting off work right about now. I don't think he ever sent me a message, so it's fine. But no, Joey and I won't be doing anything tonight. No Just Jamming tonight. I do want to talk to him about doing something another day this week, just so we can keep it up. But we'll see what happens. And even then, on that night, I've got to work on a landscape for that bridge, which is going to be fun. I'm not the landscape guy. My wife Emily handles landscaping, so I want to, of course, build a very just checking. I want to build, of course, a very complicated coastline between, a river and then a crevasse bridge over it. So I can't wait to Swear and yell at that. Africans. That's about it, really. Thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. Your support and the fact that the channel is growing very steadily and very slowly is very good for me. I appreciate that. And I appreciate people are obviously putting the word out or they're bored and randomly finding it. So thanks. That's all I got. I'm going to log off now, drink Pepsi, and go smoke cigarettes. Bye-bye!